Hey, Frank, I'm here, privacy expert and blackmail strategist. I'm going to talk about how to stop infidelity blackmail and just kind of controlling the situation so you can, get time to develop a plan or a strategy to get out unexposed. Now, the one thing I will say is do not block or ignore infidelity blackmail. And I'm talking about somebody you actually met in real life, in person, you've had a relationship with, you want to end it, and when you go to end it, it goes. So if you block, ignore, you run a high risk of them exposing you. One of the risks happen to be is that there's proximity. They know where you live, they know where you work, and depending on how aggressive or unstable the individual is, they could just show right up at your home. They could do whatever they want. I worked a case where, one person was following the other person's spouse in a supermarket, took pictures of them, sent it to the client just to show the extent of what they could do. So you have to be careful because infidelity blackmail is a fine line between stalking and, and just obsession. The way to gain control is maintaining communications and stalling. See, you have to understand what the true intentions are or the motives of the individual. Sometimes it's a hit for money and they just want a big payoff because they're pissed off at you or they know you have the cash. Sometimes it's one of those situations where they fell in love with you, they don't want to let go, and it's just this obsession with you. And then the extreme part is the angry, pissed off person who starts stalking you. And listen, none of them are pleasant situations. However, I will say that money blackmailers are easier to deal with than emotional blackmailers. Emotional blackmailers can be irrational and, again, unpredictable. The worst happen to be drug users. If somebody's got an addiction problem and you've been messing with them, especially if they need money or you've been funding their high. So the deal is to maintain communications, stall the demands, stall the money demands, the emotional demands, create excuses as to why you can't fulfill them. Now that may sound like a very limited approach, but all blackmail ends by stalling the scam, stalling what they want. I don't have any cash right now, I need some time. Look, things are difficult, work is really busy. Look, I can't move money, I need to think about this. And always respond in open-ended ways, not these dead-end stops. No, I'm not going to pay you. Those are just head-to-head things. Because what you're doing is you're really just blowing the steam out of the scam. And that's where my expertise comes in. I take over as you, I pose as you, I deal with the threat directly. So if you need help, check out my website, check out my videos, my blog. There's a lot of helpful information for individuals who want to tackle it on their own, or information about me and what I could do for you. With that said, be safe.